Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muazzam Hasbi, basically me, and I will be presenting about our project, IIUM Tawaf Transporter. So, first, I'm going to start with introduction abstract for students at IIUM Gombak. Uh, this project aims to develop a trustworthy ride-hailing platform. It addresses problems with the current system protection of riders' identification, verification, and driver integrity. The suggested program has functions including digital payments, FPX, even cash, ID verification, real-time GPS tracking, bidding system, and an emergency button. For adaptability and ongoing development, it uses an agile development process. This platform will improve IIUM students' options for mobility and fix existing system issues. Next, problem statement. Um, Transportation has been transformed by e-hailing services like Uber, Maxim, and Grab, making it more convenient and accessible. The global environment and urban planning have both been impacted by these services. An app makes it simple for passengers to request a trip, helping those who don't drive and don't own automobiles. E-hailing has increased accessibility possibilities for those with disabilities. Additionally, it lessens the need for parking spots and eases traffic congestions, which also minimizes pollution and improves the use of urban space. The transporter system was implemented in IIUM Gomba to overcome the lack of transit choices. The absence of rules and protocols, however, causes issues for both drivers and riders. The lack of driver supervision, license checking, and rider protection in the current system raises safety and fraud issues. In the lack of other ride-hailing choices on campus, a specialized application, which is IIM Tawaf Transporter, for IIM students can hopefully improve safety and offer a value-added service. That's all from me, and I will pass to Lukman Hadi to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. My name is Muhammad Lumahadi bin Muhammad Suhairi and I will be presenting about the project description of IIM Tawaf Transporter. Now, the project description, which is our introduction of the proposed project, is that we are developing a program similar to Grab, in which transporters are required to register and students are easily able to hail a ride and rate their drivers. Similar to the ride-sharing app in Drive, drivers are allowed to bid for the best price in favor of the riders in IIM Gombak. The scope that we are aiming for is for the proposed online system is to be used by IUM students and to staffs only. And transporters are among IUM students, and the riders are among IUM students and staff. So we will first come to the analysis of existing or similar systems. Now, two of the most popular ride-hailing applications in Malaysia are Uber and Grab, which is essentially both apps serve the same purpose of connecting riders with drivers. But there are several key differences in their purposes and functions. Uber was, however, we need to take note that Uber was rendered unavailable in Malaysia after a merger with Grab for all operations Southeast Asia in 2018. Now, for Uber, we have the strengths, which is the wide availability, or pretty much every city around the world, which is why it is famous among travelers. We also have multiple type options, which is the Uber X, the regular ride, the Uber XL, the larger ride, and Uber Black, which is the premium ride. We also have seamless payment with credit cards, so you don't have to carry on cash, and integration with other apps such as Google Maps to get your rides quicker. However, there are some weaknesses with the Uber app, which are safety concerns due to the issue with Uber not verifying their drivers correctly, surge pricing, which happens due to high demand, and overly strict rider and driver rating system, which punishes drivers for small integrations with the customers. Sorry. Now, let's move on to Grab, which is now the most commonly used ride-sharing app in Malaysia. It has wide availability around Malaysia. It has multiple service options. It includes large MPV cars, smaller sedan cars, and also more premium options. They also have the a user-friendly interface and several safety features such as GPS tracking and emergency reporting. However, the Grab app is not without its weaknesses, particularly referring to the limited availability outside the sea regions, because Grab is a sea-focused app, which is Southeast Asia. Search pricing similar to Uber, where the pricing scales up with demand, exponentially with demand, and limited service options in some areas. So in some areas, you can only get the regular Uber, not the premium one. So now I will show you the features that we will implement for our program, Tawaf Transporter, based on the analysis of available solutions. First of all, we will need ID verification. So we will require all the riders and transporters to verify their ID and their driver's license. We also will use GPS, real-time GPS tracking, real-time bidding, and name your own price system, emergency button, and which allows us the riders to or drivers to report their location to the authorities immediately when there's an emergency. We're using the GPS technology. We also have digital payment, which we will also accept cash, but we will digital payment will be our priority, which involves using the QR codes or online banking, such as having a wallet system or directly charging a credit card or a debit card. That is all for the project description. Thank you very much. I am Muhammad Lumahadi bin Muhammad Suari. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mirza Darwis bin Mahazir, matrix number 2218867, and today I'll be presenting the software process model, specifically agile process model. So why did we choose a software process model? First is the iterative and incremental approach. So agile software development is based on iterative and incremental development. This means that software is developed in small increments, which are tested and delivered to the customer for feedback. This approach allows for quick and regular feedback from the customer, which helps to ensure that the final product meets the customer's requirements. Next is the flexibility and adaptability. Agile development is highly flexible and adaptable. The development team can easily adjust to changing requirements, as the process is designed to accommodate changes throughout the development cycle. This is important in today's fast-paced business environment where requirements can change frequently. The third reason is customer-centric. Agile development is highly customer-centric. The focus is on delivering value to the customer, which means that the customer's needs and feedback are taken into account throughout the development cycle. This results in a product that meets the customer's needs and expectations. Fourth reason is the collaboration and communication. Agile development emphasizes collaboration and communication among team members, including the customer. This helps to ensure that everyone is on the same page and that any issues or concerns are addressed promptly. And finally, continuous improvement. Agile development is based on the principle of continuous improvement. This means that the development team is always looking for ways to improve the process and the product. This results in a better product and a more efficient development process. That is all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Takif bin Gulam Hussein and my metric number is 2219357. And today I'm going to be presenting about use case diagram, context diagram and use case specification. So to start off with use case diagram, the Tawaf Transporter project use case diagram will show the numerous interaction and activities between the actors and the system. Customers, drivers and the system administrator are shown as actors in this use case diagram. The client has the option of reserving a ride, paying for it and rating it. The driver is capable of carrying out tasks including agreeing to a ride request, picking up the passenger and finishing the ride. The system administrator is able to manage the system, add or remove transporters and settle conflicts between clients and transporters, among other things which is stated in diagram below. So as we can see from the diagram, customer is able to bid for a ride, which includes view bid status. Customer also is able to cancel a ride. Customer is also able to view driver entity and license verification, hail a ride, view ride history, report misconduct. As for the driver, driver can register as a transporter, view customer identity and protection, and accept offer from the customer. And for the admin can view detailed ride information. Yep. So for the next one is context diagram. So I would need to move my picture over here. Okay. Next is the context diagram. The Tawaf Transporter Information System is represented as the central entity. The customer, transporter, and bank are shown as external entities interacting with the Tawaf Transporter System. The bank interacts with the Tawaf Transporter System for payment processing. The context diagram provides a high-level view of the system and its external entities, showcasing the interactions between them. Next is the use case specification. So as you can see from the diagram, this is the use case specification for book transporter. The use case ID is 1.0. Use case name is book transporter version 1.0. The objective is to allow customer to book a ride with a transporter and pay for the ride with their preferred payment method. It is created by Muazzam Hazmi bin Sukaimi with the date, and it is approved by Loman Hadi. The users and the actor is IIUM students. Business owner name is IIUM Tawaf Transporter Sdn Bhd, and the trigger is the customer requests a ride through the Tawaf Transporter application. Frequency of use is single or multiple times per day when needed on demand service. So next is the preconditions. So number one is the customer has the Tawaf Transporter app downloaded to their smartphone. Number two is the customer has a current Tawaf Transporter account, which includes the verification process requiring a valid Malaysian IC or passport or identification document. Next, number three is the customer is currently registered and signed into the current app session. Number four is the customer has enough money in their Tawaf Transporter account to cover the cost of the trip or has entered a valid payment method, for example, cash or credit card. At number five is if the customer uses an external payment method, it must be compatible with the payment gateway, for example, FPX, Razorpay, and so on. And lastly is there are available drivers in the customer area. So the user would then be able to use the app. Next is the basic flow. Step one is the user action. The step one user action is the customer chooses the Tawaf Transporter app's book a ride option. Number two, the customer enters the pickup and destination address, which the system action is the system looks for drivers in the customer's area that are free. Number three, the customer clicks the request ride button after verifying the ride specifics. The system action is the system notifies the closest available transporter of the ride request and notifies the consumer of the driver's expected time of arrival. Number four is the customer waits for the driver to arrive, which triggers the driver's journey to pickup point is monitored by the system. Number five, when the driver arrives, the customer enters the driver's vehicle and begins the journey. So in the system action, it is when the transporter arrives, the system notifies the customer. 6. The customer monitors the location and progress of the ride. The system action is the system monitors the progress of the ride and determines the charge based on the distance and time. Number 7 is the customer completes the payment and certifies that the ride has been completed and gives the driver a rating. The system action is the fare is added to the driver's account by the system after being subtracted from the customer's account. And lastly, the system action is the transporter's availability for upcoming ride requests is updated by the system. So the alternative flows. Number 1 is the user action is the customer cancels the ride request before the driver arrives. The system action would be the system cancels the ride request and notifies the driver of the cancellation. It also updates the transporter's availability for future ride requests. Number 2 is the user experiences experiences a problem during the ride, such as a breakdown or safety issue. The system action would be the system would notify the driver of the problem and provides assistance to the customer, such as arranging an alternate ride or contacting emergency services. Alternate flow number 3. The user action is the customer disputes the fare or rate given to the driver. The system action would be the system investigates the dispute and take appropriate action, such as adjusting the fare or rating or suspending the driver's account. The exception flow. Number 1, the app will alert the user and advise them to add cash to the account before scheduling a ride if they do not have enough money in their Tawaf transporter account to pay for the transport. Number 2, the app will alert the user and advise them to arrange a ride with another driver if the driver does not confirm the ride request within a reasonable amount of time. Number 3, the app will deduct a cancellation fee from the customer's account if the customer cancels the ride after the driver has confirmed. And lastly, the app will notify the user and advise them to book a journey with another driver if the driver cancels the ride after it has been confirmed. And lastly, for the post conditions, number 1 is the customer has been transported to their destination and paid for the ride. And number 2 is the driver has completed the ride and been paid for their services. That is all for me. Thank you. On to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Karizakwan bin Ahmad, holding the metric number 2217035, and I'll be presenting the activity diagram and a screenshot of the prototype for our group, which is doing IIUM Tawaf Transporter. So first thing first, we have the activity diagram. If the flow starts with the user reserving a ride, and then they bid for the ride with other students. If they agree for the request, they will pay for the ride, and then the transporter will pick up the passenger, and then they will finish the ride. But if they do not agree with the ride request, they will go back to the bidding process until they can get a ride and they finish their ride. Okay, that's it for the activity diagram. Next, this is the first screenshot of our prototype. This is the home page, or you can in which you can sign up or you can log in by putting in your email and your passwords. So this is the screenshots for the user. You can put up where you are and then where do you want to go. You can put the starting price for the bid, let's say 5 ringgit here, and then click bid for it. After that, this will appear on your screen. This will be the transporters who are bidding for your price. They will be bidding up or they will be this same price as you start the bid. Let's say 5 ringgit, 8 ringgit, and 9 ringgit. You choose one of them. Let's say we chose the cheapest one here, 5 ringgit. And then you can choose either to contact them, get their phone number, report the transporter, or cancel the ride. So you can look into more of the transporter information here. His name is Lukman bin Hadi, driving a Proton Wajah, and this is the number plate. 8 minutes from where you are. So 5 ringgit with 5 stars. You can see the IC and you can see the driver license. After you finish the ride, you can rate the driver. So that's it for the user interface. So for the transporter, you can register as one by putting in your emails, password, your full name, IC number, car brand and type, and then you need to upload your license and your IC. So after you're done with registering and you got approved, so this will be the screen that you got if you are a transporter. You can bid the prices of the users here. Let's say this Abdul Asagov wanna go from KOE to KUM as 5 ringgit, and you can bid it up to a price that you want. So name your price. You take the Abdul Asagov right. You put 5 ringgit, And then if he agree, you need to pick up the rider at the designated place. So that's it for the transporter UI. For the admin, you will have designated admin login page where you just need to put your email and your password. After you gain access, you will have 3 options for this page. You can either approve transporter, check the reports, and developer features. So for approving transporter, when you click on approve transporter, there will be 3 info that goes up, which is their picture, their name, number IC, their car, and the plate number, and also the license and their IC. So you can either approve or reject the transporter. So next, this is the reports from the users. It will show you all of the details, the day, the time, and where to where. So it shows who is the transporter at the time and who is the rider at the time. Extra info is the report. As example, the transporter was late to the designated place. So you can just ignore the report or you can ban the transporter. Another thing is the developer features. You can contact the developers, you can reset the connection, you can do a mock ride, and you can reset the cache. So that's it from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you.